Hey parents, I wanted to take some time to share with you an email and some work that I did with the students today. It's concerning their reading level and books that they might be looking to get into over the holiday break and I guess this entire year. So I sent them an email today. This is the email, and I'll copy this email. It's at the bottom of the email that I'm sending to you today. That was getting them to be aware of what their level is. They kind of know what their RASKid level is, but they don't really know what the Lexile number is. And I talked to a number of you at conferences about that Lexile number being a more universal number. So anyway, you can see here on this chart that there was this basic chart, kind of a rudimentary look at what their Lexile score was, and that came from their NWA score. And I was kind of directing them to use that to find books that are more appropriate for their reading level. And today in class we went through two sites that they can use to assist them with that. So the first is the School Media Center site here, and we walk through the fact that they can search the school media catalog here, go to their catalog, and it is set up so that they can go down to the Lexile and enter their Lexile number, their Lexile range. Now, typically the range is about 150 points, but we tend to recommend the bottom 100 points. Those top 50 points in the range tend to be for books that we want to do with some independent reading, or sorry, some instructed reading with a little guidance. Again, I think that's people's choice. If you want to get something a little more difficult, that's fine. But so for instance, if a kid had a score of let's say 500 to 650, I might choose the bottom 100 points of that range, 500 to 600, to look up. Oops, you know what? I don't think I wanted to do that. I think it searched Lexiles. I guess I did change it over to Lexiles. And so here, it'll give them a list of all of the books in our library. Now you can see for that particular range we have a number of books, 400, 500 books. This will be very useful for kids who are at the upper or lower ends of the ranges, because there are a select number of books that they might find there. The other search engine that I gave them, and again this was something I was referencing for parents as well, is this site called Lexile.com, and it allows the kids to do two things. One, if there's a book that they're interested in, and here you can see they have it set up to look up the book New Moon. Now I had to work with them and remind them they have to put things in quotation marks, or they should, if they expect to find their books. That may be something that you want to kind of oversee when they search something. But if you search the book in here, and New Moon, you can see comes up with two titles, the first of which is one shows it has a Lexile rating of 1060, which is pretty high for most of the kids in our age. And then here you can see the other New Moon series, which is the more popular one, comes in at a Lexile range, which is 690. So a lot of our kids in this grade level are at that range or close to. And again, you can look at your own child's range to find that out. But also notice, it is worthwhile, it says it's in 12 and up books. So even though the reading level might be appropriate, sometimes the topics may not. So that's a useful thing for parents to kind of utilize as kids go out and get books. The other piece here is kids can enter their Lexile, and this is what a lot of the kids had fun doing today, is they have the option here to enter their Lexile number and again enter their range. So again, I'm going to type in that 500 to 600 range. They get an opportunity to kind of pick what genre, and the genres aren't just, so if I wanted to, for instance, get a sports book, but not just on all sports, I want to get a football book in particular. So over in sports, I'm going to click this little icon here that gives me more options. I'm going to specifically pick that I only want football books, and then make sure that I have sports highlighted. And then when I push search, this engine will go through all of the books in its library, and it has a ton of books in its library. It's a pretty universal site here. And you can see they found 17 books that were in my Lexile range. Again, how to find these, of course, they're going to give you links to where you can buy them, but you can kind of piece that part together for your own family. But this will kind of at least guide kids towards some books that they might be interested in, and then they can go out and acquire those books. But really, if the kids are reading outside of their range, their growth in reading is really going to be stunted as opposed to reading books that are most appropriate for them. So I I wanted you to be aware of these as they are now finding this engine, and the holidays, there'd be a lot of opportunities for kids to read books. So again, I thought this would be very timely for everybody to familiarize themselves with this. If you have any questions, comments, as always, give me a buzz. And if we don't talk before before we leave for break, I hope you enjoy your break, and I will see you guys in the new year.